Okay, I am late, and I'm extremely late, but it probably won't be a long video. But I did want to talk about something really major in this whole gaming world, and that would be Batman Arkham Knight. Because there was something I passed. They just didn't really want to talk about it. And eventually I was going to have to talk about it. Okay, first and foremost, I talked about this in the previous video. Batman Arkham Knight is a great video game. I mean, it's really, really, really fucking good. I mean, it's a game worth getting in every way. Um, and I really mean it. Get Batman Arkham Knight if you can. I recommend it. But it has two major fucking flaws in it that I really needed to address. One is the Batmobile. Well, as you can tell, they dropped the whole the old-fashioned Batmobile, like in the old Batman series and stuff, or from the Batman animated series and stuff, in favor for a more Christopher Nolan version of Batman, or a giant fucking tank. And there's a way to fix it, but you have to literally have Batman go into the fucking Gotham PD area, and then you have to press start, and then you can change the Batmobile controls. I'm not joking. You have to be in the fucking GDPC station, which is bizarre in itself. But that's not the only weird thing. And what it does is that it makes your R2 button into being reverse. You can have R1 forward and R2 backwards, which is a nice little fix, but you have to hold down R1 to turn into a tank. That's not really a fix that's really needed in that game. One of the major problems, and I think one reviewer brought it up, is that the Batmobile drives like it's on oil, or like somebody just put oil slick all over the fucking road, and you are sliding. Your car always slides. But you can go to a dead stop by turning into a tank. And then, literally just use your thumbstick to drive around and make extremely fast turns. I don't know why the Batmobile after that doesn't have tons of puke in there from Batman just constantly throwing up when the Batmobile is spinning at 360 degrees at the speed limit of, 150 miles per hour. But and to make matters worse, they do force the Batmobile missions down your fucking throat in every fucking way. It just, and especially near the end. And then you got two giant tank missions in there. One's a side mission, which is driven by Slade, which most people don't mind, and I mean some do, but it's not really as hard as you think. And then you got the Arkham Knight giant ass tank, which is part of the story mission. Yeah. Let me tell you what everybody has said about about that section of the game. What in the fuck were they thinking? Now, true, they wanted to have a more better Slade fight with the Slade tank, and yeah, that's somewhat disappointing, but that tank that you have to fight with Jason Todd, you have to get one target in the front, which is the hardest target to get, and two on the side, and one in the back. That's basically four targets. And you have to stay in front of that target for a while until it locks on. Good luck with that. And to make matters worse, the tank can fire at least 5 to 6 miles away and knowing where you go once it finally finds you. So you have to really drive a long miles away from the giant ass tank once it found you, and hope to God that none of its bombs hit you, because some of them will, no matter what. And some people who play in the experience mode only are in super hard mode. Literally was forced to tone down the difficulty levels just to get past that area. I can tell you for one, that whole tank thing is most likely going to be get nerfed extremely bad. I think it's going to end up more like the Slade tank. Because once you get those four targets, then you got to get the front of it 5 or 6 times with your cannon while it still has that long range, and then it will finally drop the giant cannon, and then you can shoot at it 5 to 6 to 10 more times. I'm not joking. This is all in the Arkham Knight fucking giant ass tank. And this is why people prefer the Slade tank battle better. And given that the Batmobile's controls are shit, and they just don't drive right at all. And I mean, glad tank mode's there to get you out of a lot of shit, but most of the times you're in your Batmobile doing all these missions, and and most people have just dropped their control and said they're done. I'm just gonna wait until they nerf that damn tank damn mission in Arkham Knight. And I know they will nerf it because Rocksteady's had a history of fixing games when they made it too difficult, even for the expert gamers. Unlike who was ever doing fucking Arkham Origin, who basically said, "Oh, you have a game-breaking bug? Fuck you. We're just gonna get DLC. Now give us our fucking money. Shut the fuck up." That's not Rocksteady. That was the people who made Arkham Origins. Then comes to the second major fucking problem. You know, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were both written by Paul Dini. If you don't know who Paul Dini is, he was one of the biggest DC comic book writers out there, and he started out writing and helping produce Batman the Animated Series. And most people just think that he's like some sort of video game writer. No, he was basically the writer who wrote a shit ton of Batman stories, along with Mad Love, Batman's Mad Love, which was turned down by Fox Television and later re aired on WB when it was allowed. But basically, and by the way, Paul Dini is also the man who created Harley Quinn. Just to let you know. And the woman who originally voiced Harley Quinn, not the woman Tara Strong now, she since retired for good reasons. She was the inspiration for Harley Quinn, and she even got to actually play Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey TV show, even though that TV show was a massive god awful piece of shit. But the show only got better because the producers realized that the ratings were non-existent, and they were doing everything they can to save the show. But by that time, it was too late. Damage was done. Show was dead. Birds of Prey was canceled after that. What I'm leading to is spoilers because you people don't like spoilers. The story sucked. Batman's Arkham story is crap. This is one of those games that basically proves you don't need great stories to make a good game. Because Batman Arkham Knight is a good game, mainly because they kept all the old shit, combat shit that Batman did in the previous game, minus the Batmobile. But they also improved on the combats, especially with the mercenaries who have the doctor who will kill them if you don't take the doctors down or disrupt their packs. And that's actually good. Yes, it makes the game harder when you're fighting all these people and you have to fight them, and some medic is picking up one of those guys you just knocked out, and you have to knock him out again. That's actually good mechanics. But that story is shit. I mean, it's got great combat physics and all the old tropes, along with the Batman gadgets and all that, which is just beautifully put together. But the story's shit. It's complete fucking stupid. Yes, it has some really great moments in there, but let me give you something about the story that most comic book fans already knew. The reveal of Arkham Knight, as you know, spoiler alert, is Jason fucking Todd. Guess how many big time comic book fans knew that Arkham Knight was Jason Todd before even installing the disc in for the first time and installing the game, or even or downloading the PC version or whatever. All of them knew. Only people who are like into video games and don't didn't read any of the Batman comic books wouldn't even know. Most of you also don't know that the Jason Todd in the comic books. Sorry, my cat scared me. He didn't think I needed a heart anymore, or a functioning one. Scared me that bad. But anyways, Jason Todd in the comic books is considered one of the most annoying fucking characters out there, and he became the Red Hood. And it was through that whole promotion of the Red Hood that they realized it was Jason Todd. In Batman, like, oh, I can't figure out who Arkham Knight is, but he seems to know everything about me. Batman, you're supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and you don't know that only Batgirl, all your different Robins, along with Jason Todd, by the way, Alfred, Lucius didn't know until much later, and Bane are the only people who know your identity. There's no way you. I mean, and then you're like, well, I finally found it was Jason Todd. And you're acting all surprised. Really? Because the only supervillain that knows your right. Well, there's also Raz, but the only other superhero knows your right. A supervillain that knows your identity is fucking Bane. I doubt that armor would have fit Bane. And Raz, even though he's an immortal, well, somewhat of an immortal, he's way too old to fit to be in that costume and act like a childish little shit. Yeah, that was the other thing. Arkham Knight was basically acting had multiple personality disorders apparently, which oddly enough is a basis in the comic books because I don't know how, but Jason Todd in the comic books is pretty much the same fucking way. Mainly because the writers don't know where to take him. I'm not going to get into details, but he doesn't know what personality is. And DC just loves shoving Jason Todd in everybody's face like he's going to be the next greatest comic book character ever. And by the way, every comic book he has been in has flopped massively. Even his first appearance of the Red Hood comic book in the Batman series was a serious fucking letdown. And when they did that little Under the Red Hood video, they had to rewrite the entire story. Because the real Jason Todd actually came back because Superboy punched reality. I'm not fucking kidding. That actually happened in the comics. By the way, I did love Mark Campbell as the Joker and the nod to the Killing Joke and all. But the whole torturing Jason Todd shit and shooting him later and videotaping it was just awful. And I'm not going to get into what happened with Hush, because this stems all the way back in Arkham City, which was bad. Him turning into Bruce Wayne, that did happen in the comics, was the worst idea in comic book history ever. He was dubbed Bruce Wayne 2.0. And by the way, that little side mission that led to Hush in Arkham City and then went on to Arkham Knight was not Paul Dini. He didn't write that part. And just to let you know, Paul Dini did not write Arkham Knight at all. I mean, I have no clue who wrote this goddamn awful piece of shit, but he obviously didn't read very much on Batman. I mean, he knew all the characters and stuff, but he had a fuck on clue on how to put clues together. And then there's that god awful ending. That extremely stupid fucking ending. It makes me worried about the Warner Bros. Future as they're making more comic book based movies because Warner Bros. Owns DC. I mean, I loved Batman Begins and I like Dark Knight, but Dark Knight Returns was not that great. Wasn't piss poor like Batman and Robin, but it was not that great. I especially didn't like it how it was revealed that Batman got a new partner only a week after he thought Jason Todd was dead. I'm not fucking joking. That was listed in the game. I mean, in the comic books, when Jason Todd died, Batman kind of went on a downhill spiral that just didn't stop and lasted for years. It wasn't until Tim Drake became the third Robin, and then Sophie Brown, and then Damien. Fuck Damien. Yeah, I hated fucking Damien. I know you Batman fans love Damien, but I hated that fucking character. Even if he was Batman's son, that character was a fucking joke from the beginning. My honest opinion. Well, see ya.